I think I'm starting to understand more and more how control is honestly holding me back. And I know that that's something that everybody talks about, like control, let go of control. There's so much regurgitated ish out there. But here's the truth about this. Listen, I am not claiming to be an expert by any means. I am still digesting this as we are doing this. So, if you're anything like me, you consider yourself a recovering perfectionist. That's right. I said a recovering perfectionist because perfection does not exist. Okay. Yesterday, I was actually having a conversation with somebody very close to me, and they had asked me, kind of, P, what is one of the things, what would you consider your weakness? And I remember sitting there, and it's not that I would label this as a weakness. I don't think any of us have weaknesses. I think we have shadows and things that we haven't integrated. And I think one of the things that I haven't integrated is actually control. But instead of me saying control or having control problems, immediately what came out was the lack of self belief. And I remember the person was amazed that I said that, but I was also amazed that I said that because I was not trying to say that. I was trying to say control. I think for me, control stems from lack of self belief. Ooh, I'm getting chills. Believe that it's going to work out. Believe that I'm worthy. I'm going to try not to get emotional. Like I said, I feel like I'm still processing this. So just stay with me. Yes, I am a confident person. I feel like I've worked more and more on my solar plexus, my solar chakra. And I still feel like there's more work, inner child healing, and just acceptance that I still am working through and am doing and loving myself through. But I noticed that ever since I was little, one of the main things my parents would tell me that I would struggle with is control. And I would need things, I would literally need things to be perfect and prim and proper and pristine because that was a way of safety, but it also allowed me to feel like I was worthy. If I control something, then I can control the outcome. So I would switch on and off between being, which is inherently knowing that you're worthy, to I need to do things in order to be worthy of something. So it's all very interconnected for me. But why is this important? I think over the last 3 to 4 years, primarily, I've been sitting with the concept of doing less is more. And even this morning I was sitting thinking to myself, and I'm like, okay, cuz I'll be so honest with you guys right now. I am experiencing a shift. And I spoke about this in my previous video. I'll link it somewhere in here in case this is your first time seeing me and you haven't seen that previous video before. So things have shifted. Why am I saying this? Because I feel like a lot of my life, right now, I'm going through a transition. So my content's not the same because I am not the same. So I've been sitting with less is more because the more I soften, the more I relax, the more I understand, like, it's not about how much I produce, it's about the quality in which I produce things. And I think it's very important to also understand that. And I was brought up by a family who not only are they immigrants, but they're working class. And I feel like I was indoctrinated by a lot of my ancestors, by my parents, which are amazing, to work hard. And it's not to say that I don't think there's truth to that. I do. I don't think manifestation cannot exist on its own. It has to have divine action. Keyword divine action. It got instilled in me that I had to do action in order to receive, which is half of the truth, and maybe like a quarter of the truth. And then there's manifestation, too, and allowance, which is a form of releasing control. I feel like when I don't do a lot, I am not worthy to receive. And I was sitting with myself and I was like, wow, everything I've ever manifested or anything that I've wanted has come in exactly when I let go of control. When I let go of needing that thing or needing this or needing that, like needing nothing attracts everything. And if you follow me for a while, you know I've said this a couple of times because it came through as a channel message, but it's so true. It's like my mom would always tell me, In Spanish, she would say, cuando menos te lo espera, así de rápido llega. So when you least expect it, it's literally when it happens. It just happens. And it brings me to a point that I know that to some people, right, looking into my life, and maybe if you're new as you're watching this, like you're feeling a lot of things come up to the surface as you're watching me. And this journey did not come to place and manifest itself overnight. Like this has been years of me sitting and even working behind the scenes to create content. Like it didn't just happen overnight. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, yeah, like I just manifested so hard that it just appeared out of thin air. Like, no, girl, no, it didn't just appear out of thin air. Like this was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? And it was also, you ready for this? A lot of nothing. A lot of nothing and sitting in nothing, literally, has brought me here. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it's very difficult not to compare yourself to somebody. And then you create this kind of like restriction, this control of like, well, I need to do this or I need to do that. Or like, so I've learned throughout this journey, okay, not only do I need to shut that off and listen to my journey because everybody's unique and everybody's so different. What gets me to point A to point B super quick might take you 10 years, and that's okay. And I feel like social media does such a good job of giving you regurgitated ish things that are already repeated and just the same thing, the indoctrination, the conditioning that more is more when sometimes less is more. I've had to work really with my self concept, especially now that I am creating different kind of content. And I spoke about this in my previous video, how I felt like if I wasn't doing tarot readings or like manifestation videos, like people didn't want anything to do with me. Even though that's not what I resonated with anymore, I felt like I had to do it in order to keep up an appearance or just please other people when I was basically putting myself in the chopping block. That's not to say I didn't like what I did. I just feel like everything serves its purpose. You're not meant to be doing the same thing forever. And whoever tells you you are is lying. Because we're multifaceted beings. What do you mean that we're going to be doing the same thing 24/7 every single day, 7 days of the week, 365 days, which is maybe what we think actually exists out there, and you're not going to change your mind? The only constant is change. We change with change. That's why letting go of control is so important. That's what these big, enlightened individuals that came here to share this consciousness are trying to get us to understand, is that detachment is being able to flow with change and to morph and to always be kind of like this jack of all trades. Of course, jack of all trades, master of none. You get what I'm trying to say. It's just about flowing. I guess I realized this morning, like, I'm working on my self concept still, on my ability to make things happen. I'm still working on self esteem things, like coming up from beliefs of scarcity. I believe sometimes, things are scarce and or scarce. I don't know how you say that. You get the point. You get my accent at this point. And just the belief of like, I need to work hard because money can't come unless I control it and I see and I work really hard. Where the energy the frequency I'm trying to shift into is the more I am myself, the more my heart opens, the more I allow genuine joy to come into my life, regardless of what it looks like, because I can experience joy now. Abundance flows to me quicker because that's the way it is. Because the alignment isn't outside of me, it's in me, it's a frequency, it's a thought, it's a pattern, it really is. And I know you probably listen to a lot of that and you hear a lot of that, but it's you. Like it's not what people are trying to sell you, it's not even what they're saying. It's when you understand this and you really integrate it is when things start shifting. And again, I'm not saying I have mastered. I don't think I'm enlightened by any means. I am still in the process alongside with you and breaking through these limiting beliefs and these patterns and understanding that there is safety in me relaxing. There is safety in not needing to control and not closing myself off to opportunity. The moments where I've had the most success or just things kind of flow in is when I have least expectations because I'm not controlling, I am trusting, and I am flowing. It's in the flow. It's a frequency, it's an energy. I remember I wanted to create content so badly for such a long time, and I would hold myself back out of fear of perfection and rejection and blah, 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 blah. And then one day I just turned on TikTok and I was like, F it, I'm just gonna be me. And that's gonna be enough. And boom, it started going and it turned into its own thing. Why am I saying that? And look at me now. I'm literally starting from zero in this place. Like, my point is with this video, if you're watching this video, if you came across this video, yes, it's good to work on yourself, but the ego has such an insatiable hunger that if you allow to take control with your shadow and all your fears, you're going to be sitting on potential for the rest of your life. Healing's the journey of a lifetime. Life is what happens in between that. So it's not about deciding when you're ready, because you're never truly 100% ready. When you're ready, the universe delivers it to you and it presents you with the opportunity, and you have the free will to say yes or no. And I understand, I really do understand the concept of if you came from a really hard upbringing, we all have ancestral trauma. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you came from. Nobody's perfect. If they're telling you they're perfect, they're lying. They're lying. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own stuff. Everybody's figuring things out. Even if it looks like something on social media, social media's a lie, okay? Social media's a lie. It's all an illusion. If you're struggling right now predominantly with control, understand this. Control's an illusion. At the end of the day, you can plan. And I'm not saying this to cultivate fear in you. I'm saying this so that you can finally let go. So I want to leave you with this. What would your life look like if you decided to let go of control? If you decided to, honestly, I'm going to bet on myself. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter if it's prim. It doesn't matter if it's proper. I'm going to give myself the opportunity because there's an inner child inside of me that deserves this. And if there's a dream inside of myself, I have the ability to make it happen. So I'm going to step into that power. What would your life look like then? That's the question that you should sit with, because that's the question I'm sitting with, is if I decide to release control and do the best I can and trust in this unending force outside of myself, but not outside of myself, inside myself, but part of a bigger thing. Would I just surrender and let go? Would I just allow? Would I stop fighting and holding on and clinging on? What would my life look like? Would I be more free? Would I be more open like right now? Would I just be like, oh, it is what it is. Flow, 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 ebb and flow. So I don't know who needs to hear that. I hope you guys resonated with this video. I know it's a lot, but I also feel like it just feels right to make a video about this. And this is the current stage I'm in right now. This is currently what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through, what I'm healing through, what I'm holding myself through, and also expressing in real time in hopes that it does help somebody out there that maybe is experiencing the same thing. So if you don't have things figured out, if you're still in that control phase, that's okay. We're figuring it out, but you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to yourself to let go and enjoy life. I know you were taught that you need to suffer in order to make certain things or receive certain things, but what if I told you that is not true? Suffering is a choice. So that is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for holding me through this, and thank you for being here. I love you guys very much. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. It really does help me continue to grow, and also continue to know that you guys enjoy this type of content. As usual, I love to hear your thoughts. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and also on here. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.